thank you for joining us on the Person to Person Network. Welcome to Profiles in STEM. Our career series will feature an amazing STEM professional who is shaping lives and building the future. I'm your host, Katie Culbert, and joining me today, we have a very special guest, Dr. Bob Solomon. Dr. Solomon is an executive director of the Delaware Valley Regional Science Fair. Prior to DVSF, Dr. Solomon also had quite an extensive career in industry, including time spent at Dow Chemicals and Rome Haas. Dr. Solomon, welcome to our program.
Thanks for having me.
So, Dr. Solomon, let's go back to the very beginning. Was there a particular moment that inspired you to pursue a career in STEM?
Yes, I think there was. I had a great high school chemistry teacher. His name was Mr. Alberti, and he had an infectious love of science. And I just thought that what he said and what he showed for his love of chemistry got me interested in chemistry. Then when I went to college, I had a professor who got me interested in research. His name was Dr. Stuart Clow, and I found that I had a good aptitude for it, and I really enjoyed it. So those two people really got me started.
Wow, that's a really great story. I'm glad those people inspired you to where you are today. After obtaining your doctorate, I see you decided to go into industry. Why did you make that decision?
Well, I thought that that was the best fit for the interests that I had. I was interested in doing multiple things. I was interested in synthesis and in exploring different ideas. And I found a place that gave me the flexibility to do multiple things. So it was a good fit for me.
You bring up some really good points, and I'm glad that it was what you wanted to do. In your time at Rome Haas, I see you were a research scientist, and at your time at Dow Chemical, you were a scientist as well as a technology major. Can you provide our audience with some specifics of what your job was like? Maybe give us some insight as to what your role and responsibilities were.
Okay. I had a lot of different positions and jobs in my career, but all of them were centered around solving problems or figuring out how things worked. So the first job I had was designing products for the paper industry. And I found that I liked the tools that I got to use in terms of making the products and testing the products. Later on, I had a role in an analytical group that would sort of reverse engineer competitive products. It was our version of CSI. So again, I enjoyed using the tools to figure out what our competitors were doing, reading the literature, understanding what their patent history was, and then figuring out if we could do something better. Finally, in my career, I was a technology manager, and in that role, I was supervising how we make products in our plants, working with the production people, making sure that we had good quality control, but also if they had problems, they could come to me and we would try to figure out, some particular solution.
Wow, that's very important and interesting work. So that brings us to now, where you are today. So first of all, let me personally congratulate you on your recent appointment to Executive Director of Delaware Valley Science Fair. Congratulations. So Dr. Solomon, can you tell us more about DVSF?
I'm glad to. I've been a part of this organization for about 20 years. Our mission is to provide STEM opportunities to middle school and high school students throughout our region, which is Southeast Pennsylvania, Southern New Jersey, and all of Delaware. Why I chose to take on this role is I like working with young people, and I think that our job as scientists is to inspire the next generation of scientists. That's just as important as inventing a new widget. So it's a role that I'm glad to take on. And I really enjoyed working with the people who share a similar mission and a similar passion for what they do.
Thank you for that explanation. So, as executive director, can you provide me an overview of your duties? I know that from personal experience, you helped me prepare for the next stage of competition, which was the Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair.
Okay. So, my role is twofold. One is I oversee running these science fairs. We have regional science fairs in the areas I just told you about, and we have the Delaware Valley Science Fair for all the students who qualify from the Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania regions. So that part of the job is pretty straightforward. We run the fairs, we get the judges, and we work with them so that they know what our rules are, and we try to reward all the students that participate. The second part of this job is to find a way to inspire more people to participate. So part of that is teacher workshops. We help train teachers to help students run science experiments. Some teachers are more comfortable with that than others. The final part of that job is also to kind of reach out to students who maybe don't have the same opportunities to participate in science. We want them to have a mentor, a place to go to get some ideas, and at least enjoy the part of science that is discovery.
Thank you for that answer. So, Dr. Solomon, I know that we have covered a lot of ground today, and it sounds like you have a very busy yet super interesting life. Is there something you would like to share with our audience as they explore STEM and careers in STEM?
I thought about this and I decided to share one story. And the theme here is don't always assume you know what you're going to do or you know what's coming to you. When I was an undergraduate, I did some research and got a chance to present a paper at a regional American Chemical Society meeting. And the morning of the presentation, I went down with my friends to have breakfast, and sitting at a table in the corner of the room was a person who didn't seem to really fit in. He was an older gentleman. He was wearing one of those string ties. He was dressed, he looked a little bit like a hillbilly, and I just couldn't figure out why he was even there. Later on in the day, I presented my paper. We had an interesting discussion, and then there was a keynote speaker. And the keynote speaker of the day was the Nobel Prize winning chemistry professor from Harvard, Dr. William Lipscomb. And when he walked on stage, I realized he was the guy in the corner of the restaurant who didn't seem to fit in, but here he was, a Nobel laureate. So my story here is don't assume you know people, don't assume you know what the problem is. Collect the facts and learn from that. So to my embarrassment, I've always remembered that story and tried not to assume too much ahead of time.
That's a very great story. Thank you for sharing it with us. So, I would like to thank my guest, Dr. Bob Solomon. Dr. Solomon, it was really great speaking with you today. Thank you for spending time with us. And to our viewers, please join us again in 2 weeks for another exciting episode and another remarkable STEM professional. You have been listening to Profiles in STEM. Thank you. Katie Culbert signing off.